Chivalry 2 is a multiplayer first-person slasher inspired by epic medieval movie battles. Players are thrust into the action of every iconic moment of the era, from clashing swords to storms of flaming arrows to sprawling castle sieges and more. I was lucky enough to be invited to the closed beta and given permission to share my experience with the game. The game has been developed by Torn Banner Studios and is the sequel to the original Chivalry game from back in 2012. It releases on June 8th on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, X and S and on PC, but for PC it will only be available on the Epic Games Store for the time being and will release on other platforms after the first year. In this video I'll tell you about the game as it stands on paper, including the origins of the game, the combat system, the weapons you can pick up and the classes you can play, and then I'll talk about my own experiences with the game so far in the beta and my thoughts on how it plays out. Hopefully I'll give you a feel for whether you should be excited for this game on release.
Just dread this.
So, Chivalry 2 is based on epic medieval cinematic battles as you fight through 64 player battlefields which include team objectives, deathmatch, epic castle sieges and forest ambushes. You'll fight out in the open, under the castle walls, climb ladders on the attack or man the battlements if you're defending. The main battle mode is the team objective and you'll be tasked with things like attacking the castle to kill the enemy lord. You'll have to play out the entire siege from start to finish. The sieges are actually really fun. You'll start out by either attacking or defending the walls. If you're attacking, then your job will be to bring up the ladders to the walls, rolling up the battering rams or getting siege engines into place to batter the walls and make a breach. If you're defending, you'll either be peppering other players with arrows from the safety of the battlements, or forming a sally to shut down the attackers before they can breach the walls. There are a lot of stages to each siege. After the walls have been breached, then you'll need to fight your way inside, either climbing the ladders or bludgeoning your way through the holes in the walls. Defenders will fall back to establish new points of defence and so on. You'll have objectives given to you at each stage of the siege and a time limit to achieve them. If your objective is to kill the king, then when that stage is initiated, the top defending player will become the king and receive buffs to their attack and their defence. The defending team will then need to rally around the king and help keep him alive for the duration of the final stage. Chivalry 2 advances the vision of the original game, which the Torn Banner Studios team have stated did not, in hindsight, meet their ambitions for what Chivalry was really all about. The combat system in Chivalry 2 has been revamped and enhanced from that of the original game, with new moves added to your arsenal. On one hand, the combat is nuanced and based on realistic movement in a sense. You can swing your weapon and use drags to speed up when your attack connects. The idea, I feel, is to mirror that of real combat, where you would need to use body mechanics to enhance your combat abilities, rather than just flailing around with your arms. You can block, of course, but if you time your blocks, you'll be granted a window to riposte, which is a quicker attack and has an automatic lock built into it. If you can mirror your opponent's attack, you'll get a perfect parry. You can jab, which is used to help you recover from taking a hit, giving you a moment to bring up your defense again and reset the fight. You can weave left and right and dodge backwards. You can feint to mess with your opponent's parry window and then land your attack. There are also special moves like a tackle where you can run your enemy off his feet and then follow up. Another example is an archer who has the ability to drop a brazier down so that they can light their arrows on fire before pinging them into the oncoming crowd. On the other hand though, aside from the level of depth, the combat is ridiculous. You can pick up a chicken and set it on fire and throw it at your enemies. You can chop off a player's head and then throw it at your next opponent. You can dump rocks over the battlements to crush people climbing up ladders. You can pick up boxes or barrels and launch them to knock enemies off balance and then wade in with your battle axe. You can pretty much interact with anything you find on the battlefield. In terms of the weapons and classes, you'll start out with one of four classes: an archer, a knight, a footman or a vanguard. Each of these has a starting loadout which will include your weapon set and your special ability, including bandages or special weapons alongside your initial weapon set. For example, the knight starts out with a two-handed sword, a regular longsword and a knife. As you level up each class by gaining XP on the battlefield, you'll unlock the option to spawn with a different weapon loadout. Once you're into the battle though, you can switch out your weapons and pick up anything you can find. Grab a shield and switch to a one-handed weapon, grab a pitchfork and launch it at your enemies before switching back to your sword. The original Chivalry had a few areas where players weren't happy. Some of the elements of the combat could be exploited, like the mouse dragging for example. A major development focus for Chivalry 2 has been a complete rework of the animation and movement systems to ensure that combat both looks and feels weighty and satisfying, like a medieval game should. The aim of Chivalry 2 is to capture the promise of what Chivalry 1 should have been in terms of its hit detection, reliability and combat depth, without forcing players to resort to silly or frustrating tactics. Aside from the vision the team have laid out though, in terms of its complexity and nuance, the combat is insanely fun. You can fight pretty much however you want to, carrying out some insane movements in the game that will have you laughing even as you're chopping off limbs and throwing them at people. Chivalry 2, to me at least, has gone in a really casual friendly direction. Yes, you may suffer at the hands of a very experienced player on the other team, but there are so many players in each battle that it will be a fleeting moment in the chaos, and before you know it you'll be charging back into the fray, screaming war cries and launching heads. The feeling of the game is all about it being fun and chaotic. I never actually felt frustrated during my gameplay, despite sucking completely when I first started. Let's have a look at some snippets of gameplay to give you a feel for the chaos and the carnage, while I attempt to make myself useful during Siege. I'll showcase some of the gameplay and you can judge for yourself what you think. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful, please leave me a like and comment before you go. Thanks for watching, here we go.
I haven't got a weapon. I need a weapon, give me a weapon! Yes, excellent, I've got an axe, come on! Die!
This is shite!
Oh, I was doing so well. Ah! Oh! Got one. Right at the back of the head.
Algathian! Push the siege rams to the walls of their keep!
Yes, excellent. Oh, you're dead. Get down. Oh, who's hitting me? Who's hitting me?
No way.
Let's heal up my allies. Back of the head. 20 points. Oh no! Oh! Yes, nice rank increased. I can't talk. Die! Yes! Have that! No! No! He got me with it! Damn it! Ouch! Back of the head. Coward! Die! I will take your head. Give me that head. I'm gonna throw this at someone. Yes, excellent. I just hit him with someone's head. Oh no! Take your shield, sir. Thank you. Stab him. Yes, excellent. Ah! No, I'm down. Someone save me. Can you save me, sir? Thank you, sir. Awesome. Good work.
All right. I got shite. The drawbridge is lowered. Reach the cattle. In the name of Argon, kill the heir of Malric.
Die. Let's steal your weapon.
Resupply and heal up.
Yes. Oh, why am I on fire? Damn the bowman.
It won't work.
Got no bandages. Yes. Oh no, wait, am I dead?
Ah,